Good morning, chicks and chickens. Welcome back to Old Man Farm. My name is Sid, as always. I just got back from Cleveland, and boy, are my arms tired. No? Okay. I agree, that was a terrible joke. Anyway, I did just get back from Cleveland. I was feeling a little froggy. Not really up to sleeping right now, so we're gonna go ahead and record an episode a little bit early. I'm obviously not doing this in the morning today, which is a rarity for me, but we're going with it. But I want to tell you about the baseball game. We're in good humor today, so I was thinking of possibly going up to the mine, so that might actually end up being useful. But let's go ahead and read this letter, and then we'll get on with it here. This is from Millie. I'd like to share an old cooking recipe me pappy used to make. It's important the fish is fresh. He's told us that one before, and it is fish stew. Or at least we've gotten that. The verbiage on that has been the same. I don't know that we've actually gotten that recipe before. Either way, thank you, Willie. So, yeah, we went up to a Cleveland Guardians game, and it was against the Orioles, and they lost, but as I told my mother, who I went with, she, I think, I said this yesterday, for some reason she's gotten very into baseball specifically, but just Ohio-based sports in the last, 5-6 years, and so yeah, we went up to the baseball game, and I had a lot of fun. But as I told her, I could have gone and, there have been just mascots running around the field the whole time. I really wouldn't have cared. I don't really go for the game so much. Now, obviously, I like watching, and if the game's exciting, then that adds another element to the experience. But it's really neither here nor there for me. I just like hanging out at the field. And as I said, it was dollar dog night. So I surprised myself. I stopped at 3. And you know what I think it was? Is I got there and I had eaten 3 hot dogs. So by the time we sat down in our seats, so I kind of burnt myself out on dogs real quick. But there's a company up in Cleveland, aptly known as Cleveland Kraut Company. I think that's what it's called. But I don't know if they sell their kraut outside of Ohio, but I know all around Ohio you can find it. And I'm a big sauerkraut. I'm big anything pickled, fermented, anything like that. I love anything in that wheelhouse, and I very much love their products. They have one called Nar that is it's like a spicy kraut. They've recently started doing kimchi, which I'm all about. So yeah, super cool. And I got a couple of dogs with that. They looked at me like I was crazy because I was like, yeah, can I get a couple dollar dogs, and I want this kraut and this kraut. And the lady looked at me, and she's like, but like on the dollar dog, right? And I was like, yeah. And then she's like, well, I gotta ask, the other guy. And I'm thinking then she said, well, it's extra. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Like, you're giving me a hot dog for $1. I think I can afford some kraut, And so she's like, well, I gotta ask. I'm like, whatever. I don't really see the difference. You know what I mean? Like, I'm paying for it, so I don't know why it matters. But I know that's the way a lot of like promotional things do. You know what I mean? But she ended up being, able to do it for me, and the guy was like, you don't have time to be putting kraut on dollar dogs, just give it to him on the side. So she just oh, excuse me, I just died a little bit inside. She just gave me kraut and some foil, and I had to put it on myself, which again, no big deal at all. It was not at all a problem. I was just happy they were able to accommodate me. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. My boy was super into the mascot race. I got to high five Mustard because there's a Mustard, a ketchup, and onions, I guess, and they they run around. Mascot race is funny. It was like a what do they call it? Like an appreciation night. So we got some T-shirts and like a poster that's essentially just a schedule for next season. So all in all, pretty cool. I had a lot of fun, and I think my mom enjoyed it. Got to go out, and do stuff with us. So yeah, it was fun. I had a really good time. I saw a lady. I felt, man. Okay, so this woman, not long after I got to my seat, I mean, within a few minutes, this woman was walking up the stairs. And if you've never been to a baseball game, or at least I would assume most sporting events, the stairs are concrete, first off. But so this woman is walking up the stairs. She's got a beer in one hand, big old tray of nachos in the other, and she just completely just eats it and dumps her nachos. It's all over her face. And like, on one hand, like, I felt bad for her, like, if for no other reason, and that sucks, you didn't get to eat your nachos. But, A, she was laughing about it, but B, it's just from a purely slapstick, viewpoint, good Lord, it was funny. I didn't, like, laugh to her face, but I really had to struggle holding that one in. After she was laughing about it, though, I was like, okay, like, it's whatever. So yeah, that was interesting. God, I feel like there was something else that happened at the game proper that I wanted to talk about. We rode the train in. I know, like, to people who live in more metropolitan areas, riding the train around town is more of a, I guess people see it as a bit of a hassle, and I understand, blah 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 blah, all the various things that come along with public transportation. But I am, enough of a tree hugger over here that I'm like, well, we should probably do more public transportation, and just deal with the downsides of, having to deal with a homeless person or two. And actually, speaking of, on our way out, there was a homeless guy. He wasn't, like, posted up by the stadium. He was, like, a block away. And, I don't know if you've... Oh, I think that guy just, like... I don't think we killed that guy. I think that was, like, a shadow version of him. A shadow version of a shadow person. But he was posted up a bit away, and he had this big old sweet pit bull with him, and she was just super nice. And, if you've dealt with as many homeless people as I have, you can spot the difference between the, I don't know a proper way to put it, but the truly homeless and, sort of, the part-timers, for lack of a better way, that, they have some form of means or place to be, but they're, they might, fly a sign and try and panhandle, but at the end of the day, they're not legitimately, sleeping out on the concrete, you know what I mean? And I know that's a whole nother hot topic. I don't mean to get into it. It doesn't matter. Point being is, this guy was very clearly for real homeless. And, he had his dog there, so, I stopped. I gave him, I took out a $20 bill to spend at the stadium. I didn't spend it. And in my head, once money is taken out of the ATM, it's gone. It's spent. So I had no use for it. So I gave it to him. I was like, hey, take care of your dog. And, he's like, you can pet her. So I'm standing there petting his dog and everything. And he was very nice about it. And then this lady comes up who worked at the building we were, by. And, I'm not sure exactly how it started because she was talking to my partner about it. But essentially like, hey, is everything okay, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh yeah, everything's fine, like he didn't do anything, we're just petting his dog. He was being completely, he didn't even ask for money, by the way. He was not flying a sign, he didn't ask. He just in a more respectful, and I know the point is if you draw attention to yourself, eventually someone will give you money. It's not my first rodeo. I've done my share of panhandling, but he was just posted up in a spot, and he just said, hey, I think he said, hey, bless you, I hope you have a good night, and that's like it, like whatever. And as I've stated before, I'm not religious, I don't really care, but hey, he wasn't pushy, and like I said, I had the extra money, and I want to make sure his dog, hopefully he spends some of that money on his dog. But anyway, she was like, well, blah, 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 blah. And then we start walking away, and she was pretty sure she was kicking him out. And, I don't know, like, I'm torn on that because, like, in personally, I hate that. You know what I mean? I don't like seeing someone who is not hurting anything. I mean, legitimately not hurting anything, being, shuffled along because I suppose, in any real ways, he's an eyesore, or maybe they had a complaint or something. I don't know. And you know what? Hey, it's private property. They have the right to do what they, legally, they have the right to do that. But I don't know. I guess I have a, and this is not just a matter of having lived in the van and been houseless, as it's more known, and, hanging out with a lot of homeless people. It's not just because of that. I've kind of always felt this way. I'm a bit of a bleeding heart when it comes to homeless people. So anyway, that was a thing, and whatever. But yeah, then rode the train back, and drove home in the dark. You know how it goes. I don't do super well driving at night, but neither does my mom. So I chugged a coffee, and away we went. But it was super fun. Oh, and speaking of, I was starting to talk about the dogs, and then I got distracted by other dogs. But my mom had mentioned that every time she goes to the games with her boyfriend, that they just get peanuts and I want to say Cracker Jacks. It's hard to not say Cracker Jacks. Peanuts and popcorn. And, I said, like, yeah, I mean, that's all fine and dandy. Don't get me wrong, I love peanuts and popcorn, but, like, you want some of these banging nachos, or do you want to go to Melt? Because they had a Melt there. Melt's like a quote-unquote gourmet grilled cheese place, and whatever. And so, yeah, I was like, yeah, so I picked up some nachos, and they were obscene. They were just so good. I guess, you know what, now that I think about it, I'll probably be showing you guys pictures while I'm talking about this stuff. I took some pictures, my partner took some pictures, so there's probably going to be some things on screen. I am not editing this video tonight. It is, I think, about 2:33, something like that, so I'm not editing tonight. But, I had a bit of an odd, I won't say odd thought, but I have been feeling... I don't know the right word. I've been feeling odd lately. It's sort of trapped, and I haven't really known what to do about it, where to turn, what to do. And I wasn't really sure... Here you go, Marlon. I wasn't really sure how to sum it up. And I know no one likes to hear other people complain. I don't want this to seem like complaining, because again, I really do not begrudge where I'm at in my life. I don't think I deserve more. I am just not really that type of person, at least not anymore. But I am also very much the type of person that thinks that most people either do not have the means or do not give themselves the permission to do the things they need to do in life to become a more complete person. And that, in my eyes, heavily means that you need to take care of your mental state. And I have always had a very, very difficult time existing. Whoops, our inventory is full. Existing in the way that we as a society have set up not only the way we work, but the way the things we value, what we deem as worth our time. I have, I've always been I'm more of a Walden's Pond than a Wolf of Wall Street, you know what I mean? And it's very hard to reconcile living. When I moved into my van, I think it was the best decision I made for myself at that time. Because it was, I had reached a point in my life where I had destroyed a long-term relationship, and I truly mean I destroyed it. It didn't just end. I destroyed it, and I destroyed it from a place of extreme personal unhappiness, and not just. I don't mean with the person or the relationship even. I mean with myself, with life, with living, with jobs, my job specifically, jobs in general, the value system of our society, and people around me, including myself. Just I have felt like an alien for so long, and I feel like these simple, very simple things that I value in life, despite being easy in concept to attain, one would think, seem to be damn near impossible. It's this strange catch-22 of modern living that to be able to have an existence where you live with nature and focus more on the simple things that are around you, rather than striving for the things that are created and the wealth and power and things like this. You have to already have a degree of wealth and power to be able to afford to do those simple things, right? I watched a whole video on it recently about why rich people love to pretend to be poor, and it was very insightful video. But my point is, what I realized tonight is that while I was sitting in the stadium, I realized that have you ever been to, so when I was younger, I'd go to a metal show and I'd be moshing and having a great time, right? But sometimes it gets too intense. You got to get out of the mosh pit. You step away for a second. You recollect. You make sure, have I lost anything? Are my bones broken? I got to deal with this bloody nose. Okay, I'm back in. And there's no way to step away and deal with that bloody nose. Not when you are a paycheck to paycheck worker. You can't just say, you know what? I need to take a week and disappear into the woods, or 2 weeks, or whatever it is, and just disappear and not talk to anyone and let my brain reset. Because obviously I don't know that everyone needs it, but everyone needs something, right? And there's no reset button. Or at least none that I've found. I'm sure there's one out there, but I have not found mine. I have not found my thing where I can step away, reset, reassess. It's like you are always in a state of drowning, and there's never a ladder to grab on the side of that pool to get out, get a lungful of air, you know, wipe the snot off your face and get back in the pool, you know. And I'd like to think I'm a fairly strong swimmer, but I don't know. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Got a little weird towards the end of this video, but yeah. You know, we talk about it a lot, taking care of yourself, and I think about it a lot. Not just for myself, taking care of myself, but if everyone was allowed and incentivized to take care of themselves. You know, not to sound like that starry-eyed hippie, but, you know, things might be a little better off. But anyway, I didn't mean to just unload some stuff on you guys, but I appreciate you hanging out and listening. And yeah, take care of yourself and those around you. And I've said it before, but do something for yourself. Allow yourself to take a break if you need it. It's important, because your mental health is important, because without it, what have you? But I am going to go. I'm so excited to play Moonstone Island tomorrow, but this whole day's been such a thing, I forgot to even say anything about it. But at this point, if you know, you know. So if you want to check that out, I will be streaming from 4 to 7 today, and I'll talk to you then. If not, be good to each other. I will talk to you tomorrow, and good night.